Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new session of what you should be watching with me, Brad Fitzpatrick, and my ever so effervescent co host, Zach Washburn. Say hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
So, we have been gone for a little bit. Work has pretty much
A little
destroyed.
bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Not, I mean, come on now. Work has destroyed my any sort of social abilities, which has been devastating to everything. But we're going to try to get back into the swing of things. Right, Zach? We're going to try to start doing this again.
Right.
Okay, we may have to skip
I
like
would
one
like that.
weekend, 1 or 2 weekends a month, because I do work nights sometimes now.
I
So,
understand.
but we're going to try to do our best to do as many videos as possible. Think of this as season two. Okay?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Season two.
season two. So the first season we worked on our top fives. This season I think we should try more in depth. So today's video, we're going to be discussing nostalgia. We did both recently watch the new Critters movie, and I thought we should discuss how horribly excited we
Oh,
were
yeah.
when we first learned that they were making it, and then how wonderfully disappointed we ended up at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I should have known.
Well, I mean, look, okay. The original movies when we were younger were actually very good. The visualizations
I
of the
loved him.
movies were great. Um, the acting was kind of poor, but I mean it was the '80s, right? Like we gave a
Right.
lot of stuff away for the '80s, you
We didn't
know.
care about the act.
Yeah, you know that the puppetry was a fantastic, you know, like they made lots of headway just with practical effects. Again, practical effects made all the movies in the '80s. All right, and they make
Absolutely.
a lot of the movies for today. Um, so I mean, when I first saw the trailer, like I think I saw it first, and then I brought it to your attention, didn't I, Zach? Didn't I on Facebook? I was like, "Hey, Zach, look,
I believe so.
they're making another Critters movie,"
Yes.
and you're like,
Yeah, and I was
"Oh,
very excited.
all right." And so was I.
Well, in the trailer, of course, is one of those that deceive you because they only show glimpses of quote unquote best scenes
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
movie. And then you watch the movie, and those best scenes are like 5 seconds long, and there's about three of them.
yeah, yeah. And I think, like, and I mean, it had premise. Like when you first started the movie had some premise to where it was going to be okay, and it was just like sort of like a steady decline throughout the course of the film. That you're just like, what?
Yeah, it made no sense. Are we going to talk about the film? Do we want to do a spoiler alert?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's been out for a while. If people haven't actually seen it or
Yeah.
decided not to see it, which I can't blame you if you've decided not to see it, we'll talk spoilers. But also remember, at the end of Passion of the Christ, Jesus dies.
Yeah. At the end of Titanic, the ship sinks.
Okay, time dissolves
Yeah.
spoilers. So, so I mean, like, I don't know, like, I thought the premise of having a female version of the critters was interesting. I don't think it was the right choice. I think it was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, she looked like she looked like the white version of the female gremlin from Gremlins 2.
Yeah,
Instead of green, she was,
and
that was
and then
the that was
and to give her like different abilities and make her super strong compared to everybody else, I'm like really? And then like
that almost seemed like an undertone of trying to play into women's rights that women are stronger.
I mean, probably could have been. I don't know. We weren't in the writer's
Yeah.
mind at the time. So,
And yeah, but of course I mean, in this time they had a female heroine, and then also I forget her name, the older actress who played, I guess, the bounty hunter who really wasn't a bounty hunter, and she didn't even play she was in the first Critters, but she wasn't even playing her original part.
Yeah.
They just brought her in for, like you said, nostalgia purposes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
I agree. I agree. I mean,
It
but
was
again,
so stupid.
I mean, that could be the case. I mean, if it was, yes, empower women. I don't care, empower women. But I don't think this was the right direction that we could have gone
No.
to do that.
No.
None of the characters were even remotely able to connect with at all.
There was no character development. Yeah.
I think the
they
only
were
character I
annoying.
actually liked throughout the entire movie was the Asian store owner.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only guy I was like, all right, he's cool.
Yeah.
Had this, ah! But then everything else was kind of just it was kind of lame. The ending especially was really lame. With all the practical effects that they did on the original movies to create the critter ball, only to sort of like butcher it in this movie. I felt ashamed.
Yeah, I felt really disappointed. I almost didn't finish it. I was like, you know what? I can't even finish it. But I did end up buying it. So
You bought it?
I did.
You, Zach. Even I rented it.
Well, I'm a completist, Brad. I had to have it anyway, so I might as well buy it. No, I couldn't.
I'm sorry.
Bought it.
We were talking about wasted money earlier
Thank you.
on a
Yeah.
video game.
This was one of those times. Yes,
Man.
this was one of those times.
Now, okay, so why do you think that people are so fascinated with nostalgia? Like, why do you think we got excited immediately for the movie? Why did we get excited?
Yeah. I think just for the definition, nostalgia, it comes from your childhood. You're reminded of your good childhood memories of those movies, and it's like we mentioned before, the Ghostbusters reboot. We wanted to see the Ghostbusters in action again, but they decided to go a different route for it. Pissed off a lot of people. I was one of them. I mean, for an original movie, it was okay. I liked the effects and I liked the actors who played them, but we felt let down because as fans, we don't want new stuff. We want to see the old shit over and over again. I mean, that's what nostalgia is. You want to feel that. So then we finally get our Ghostbusters 3 and we're all excited. We want that. Hopefully it won't suck, but it might.
Well, I mean, Harold Ramis.
That's just the chance you take.
Harold Ramis is no longer with us. May you rest in
He
peace.
isn't. If they do it right, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they do it right, though, it'll be okay. I mean, Dan Aykroyd's back, and hopefully Bill Murray. And
He is.
Sigourney
He's
Weaver, and
Bill Murray said he's coming back.
that's good.
Yeah.
So I don't see how they could screw it up, but they could.
Honestly, it really depends on the production company and the director.
Yeah.
In reality,
Most remakes though will suck because they're not what we want.
Yeah. I mean,
Remakes are to play to a new audience, not to an old audience.
that's true. Like, I don't know. There haven't been very many remakes to where I was like, all right, this is awesome. I think there's only one remake that really comes to mind that I think is better than the original.
What's that?
The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake.
Better than okay. We're talking about the old 1950s
Yeah.
original.
Yeah, like Kurt Russell, the remake, John
Yes.
Carpenter's. Yes, that remake is better
Well,
than the 1950s.
Well, when I think of the original, The Thing, I think of the 1980s version with Kurt Russell.
From your childhood.
See, but see, I bet a movie fan from the 1950s, if that is when it came out, watched that and then watched it. I bet they're like, I wonder if they're like, oh, the original was better.
I mean, yeah, it could have been. That's like I've
That
heard
could have
talk
been
of I've heard talk of them trying to redo Nosferatu.
See, that would be, that might play to me more because, like, okay, like for instance, we have talked about, and I know a friend of yours was supposed to be on our video one time because he's like really into the old horror classics and stuff.
Right.
And I have all of them on DVD, but I've never seen them.
Hold on, let me
I
call him
tried
out.
to
Let me
watch.
call him out real quick, so he knows that we're talking about him because he turned me
Okay,
down. Jamie, you were supposed to talk to us.
Jamie, you flaky bastard.
Okay, continue.
But I tried to watch the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi
Mm.
last night, and I was just like, ugh, God, it's so cheesy. I mean, I felt guilty feeling that way, but I get it. I get why those are all classics. They broke ground when they first came out and everything. The acting for its time is great, but they're just so melodramatic
Yeah.
and cheesy. It made me just yearn for the newer one by Francis Ford Coppola with Gary Oldman. So I ended up watching that instead.
I mean, but
So,
that movie's pretty amazing.
of course, yes, it is.
It's Gary Oldman
And
though.
I wonder if the younger audience who watched, I don't know, who watched the thing that recently came out,
Mm.
that's the thing. They might like that better than the 1980s version.
Well, I mean,
Or
the thing that just the thing that just came out was a sequel.
right, it was more of a prequel. They kind of got that, but see, that's how they should. That's how I think they should do a lot of those. Not exactly like that, but in order to play into the younger audience and the older audience fans at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good way to do it.
Right.
Do you agree?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we all have to take in consideration that there, as you said before, that we want the same old stuff that we're normally used to. We just want it better, and
Right.
it's hard to please everyone.
Yes.
It really is, and I think if people in production and in movie studios and game studios alone, if they're going to remake something, they need to bring in a fan of the original. I really think they should. Somebody who can critique the new film and be like, no, I think we need to bring this back to here to do this,
Right.
even if it's a slight nod. I think that's the reason why I liked, like, we'll go back to The Thing, the new one that just came out, is
Right.
that you could literally watch it, like, or we'll do this, Rogue One. Like, literally, Rogue One you can watch right then, and then right at the end you can move right into New Hope. Just like, bam.
That's
And
true.
it doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything.
But Rogue One wasn't promoted as a remake. It was promoted as a prequel film.
Well, of course, yes, but
Yeah.
the way that it was handled was really kind of in the line of the old ones. It was by a fan because there were no Jedis, but it was in the world, and even because there were no Jedis, like we still felt it. We still realigned it. Like it's. Would you agree that it's more of a prequel film than the 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
Okay, then you see what I'm saying? Like it holds more. It holds more to the nostalgic feeling of the original trilogy than the new trilogy that came out afterwards. I feel that way anyway.
Yeah.
Like when my kids are like, what comes before New Hope? Like Rogue One. There you go.
Right. And that's it.
I mean, really. Like I don't even bring in Solo.
I like Solo.
I think it would have been better if they had a better actors. I didn't like the guy who
Yeah.
played him.
Yeah, I love that. I forget his name. He's really popular right now. But the guy that played Lando Calrissian, I thought he did amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, Lando is Donald Glover. Like
Yeah.
Donald Glover is fantastic.
Donald Glover. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I think he like embodied that role.
he did great.
Like he was the best part of the movie for me. Woody Harrelson was pretty good too, but I mean Woody Harrelson's a good actor. But I didn't I wanted a better person to play Han, I think. We needed somebody with bigger, I don't know, either bigger or lesser acting chops.
Right.
But that's just me. But I just feel like, for nostalgic purposes, even though Rogue One wasn't meant as a remake, it almost feels a part of that nostalgic world. For me at least. Because it was made by somebody who loves the world. And not just somebody who wants, you know.
Well, do you think? I mean, do you think George Lucas, when he, when he did Episode One, was just wanting money?
Um, yes and no. I read an interview that he had done that the main reason why he did Episode One was because he wanted to make a new Star Wars for his adoptive kids, something for them that wasn't like that they could turn to as their age. And so that's the reason why Episode One was, there's Jar Jar and there's young Anakin, so they can, they felt more in touch with. That's what he
Right.
wanted to do, and it just sort of, coalesced from there. And then like they took him, like he opted out of doing Episode Two and Three. Remember, he only did Episode One. So
Yeah.
I mean, we take in consideration that they added the midichlorian count, which has then since been kicked out.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, even though George Lucas is the original creator, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you call him like? Would you call him a fan? I
No,
mean, would you call the creator of the thing a fan?
that depends. That really depends on who we're talking about. I think in
Yeah.
this sort of situation, like with George Lucas, I don't think so. I really don't think he was a fan.
He
I think
didn't
he
have-
liked it, but I don't think he was a fan.
Right.
Are we talking about Stan Lee? Stan Lee was a fan.
Yeah.
Stan Lee was a creator and a fan. He
Right.
knew immediately. And you'll have that. But I don't. I think there's like some sort of like disconnect, really, from creator and fan. Like, like as a creator, you're like, yes, this is my world. I made it. I can dictate how everything goes, and this is how I want it. Like, look at George R. Martin. In the Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll kill whoever I want. It's not for you. It's me. I'm doing it.
Right.
And I think that's the case. But then you bring in a fan who is basically devoted to those works. I think that they're probably a little bit more mindful of how things should go because of how well they've developed with the characters that the creator has created. I mean, that's my only opinion.
Yeah.
I think out of many, many years, I think, like I said, Stan Lee is probably one of the only creator fans. But you have a couple, like Todd McFarlane. I think Todd McFarlane is a creator fan.
Yeah.
I think he is so much a fan of Spawn that his movie that's coming out, that he is directing, that he's putting money into for Spawn, is going to be the best Spawn movie that's come out since he did the cartoon.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the hardest part when you're making something that's sort of nostalgic. Like when it comes to movies or even TV shows that are based on old stuff, you have to have somebody who is a big fan and basically take out big business.
I agree. If that's the secret, I wish they'd do more of that because yeah, most of the remakes suck.
Because they're like doing like TV right now. They're trying to bring back as many old school TV shows as possible.
Right.
With like a new hip flair. As they've tried to do. Got like the Roseanne and the Connors and things like that. Some of them are okay. I don't know if you've watched Ash versus the Evil Dead.
No.
Okay. Well, they made an Evil Dead movie just within the last couple of years that wasn't done by Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell or Todd Rayford.
Yeah. I
Right.
saw it.
Rob, not Todd. I don't know what to say Todd, but it's Rob Tapert. It is. I don't want to say awful, but I will. Because Because I don't like. I mean, for if you've never seen the original Evil Dead movies, like
Yeah.
Evil Dead 1, 2, or Army of Darkness,
Uh,
and you watch the new Evil Dead, you could be like, all right, this is kind of entertaining. But if you've watched, 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, like, what the fuck is this?
yeah. It really wasn't. It really wasn't that movie at all. It was completely different.
It was awful, in my opinion.
I don't think it was awful. There were good points to it. I can see where a real big fan of the Evil Dead franchise. I'm not a super fan of the Evil Dead franchise.
Right.
I like them,
Mhm.
but I can see where someone like that would not like the remake.
Right. Well, they made a TV show on Stars,
Oh yeah,
Ash versus Evil Dead. You haven't seen it yet, Zach. You need to.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
It's done by Sam Raimi. It's done by Rob Tapert. Bruce Campbell is in there. He stars as Ash, and it is campy, glorious goodness.
Yeah.
It is everything that Again, it's a creator fan, which Sam Raimi is.
Right.
And the other writers that he brought in to help write the episodes, they're all fans, and they were able to create a show that was heavy in nostalgia purposes, and really kind of comes through.
Yeah.
And it really shows, just like Rogue One, just how if you have somebody who knows the material and who loves the material, just how far you can come with something that's connected to something in our past.
Sure.
That's like talk about another thing that came back. Samurai Jack. Do you remember Samurai Jack?
I know of it. I never watched it.
Okay. Cartoon by Gendy Tartakovsky that originally came out, when I was a teenager on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Right? Really good action cartoon. American cartoon, mind you. It's not an anime, but it has very heavy anime influences.
Right.
Well, it, didn't end. Had no ending. And just within the past 2 years, they brought Gendy Tartakovsky back to actually make an ending for it, which was 1 season long. And it was great. It brought back every bit of the feelings that the original show had.
That's cool.
And that's what you look for.
Was it back on Cartoon Network or was it on Netflix or what?
No, it was on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network picked it back up. Cartoon Network is I don't know why, but they've gone through little
Right.
ups and down waves upon their programming. Because
Yeah.
Toonami was really high at one point in time, and they got a lot of viewers for that, and stuff. And they had some really good cartoons, and then they went to really really stupid cartoons for some reason. I think
Yeah.
because I think that with the advent of SpongeBob, they thought everybody wanted, just
Yeah.
stupidity. So that's what they did. And then but then somebody at Cartoon Network finally realized that kids don't watch Cartoon Network.
Right.
Adults watch Cartoon Network,
Yeah, exactly.
which is why they brought out Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Which then spiraled them back up. They got more viewers that way because they had really good adult cartoons out there. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, stuff like that. Which was really funny for adults. Teenagers who really liked the comedy of it.
Yeah.
Just and I mean, they've come a little ways. I mean, even Sci-Fi is trying to get back on that bandwagon. They have a cartoon right now that's kind of airing. That's called what is it called? Gary and His Demons. It's about an aging demonologist who's pretty much fed up with his life. He's part of a company that goes out and destroys demons and monsters, and he's just done. He feels like Rick from Rick and Morty. It's almost copy and pasted him. Rick is an amazing character. Everybody loves him. Let's just make him a middle-aged white guy, balding, that's just had enough with life and wants to kill himself.
Yeah.
But he hunts demons for a living. And he has a magical sword, which he uses to turn himself into... he has a Sailor Moon transformation, basically. And it's pretty funny. But It's no Rick and Morty,
No.
which comes out soon.
Yes, very excited.
Me too. Rick and Morty's gonna be great. But I mean, really, like, I think there are lots of things that people could do to bring back. I don't know. If you have a fan, nostalgia can be great. But if you don't have a fan and you're only in it for money, nostalgia really bites.
Well, you can't have nostalgia without fans.
Right, but you can't make anything new with it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's true.
I'm trying to think of something else that might be. I mean, look at Jurassic Park. Right? Jurassic Park has a huge following. Great nostalgic purposes. The original Jurassic Park, for one, is probably still one of the greatest cinematic experiences to date.
I agree.
Still
I think
holds up.
that's why they're trying to bring back everybody for the last one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, so far they're all in it.
Why wouldn't they be?
I mean, I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah. Sam Neill will be like, no, that ruined my career.
I'm out.
I had to be Merlin after that.
He was a great Merlin. I like that.
I know, right? It was a good. I mean, Sam Neill's a great actor anyway.
Yeah.
He's not in enough stuff. But I mean, you just never know. Like there are lots of cases where they're going to bring out a new one. They're like, they read the script and like, oh my god, no,
Yeah.
what? Why did we? I thought we ended this with three movies ago,
You've done more of these?
right? I don't know. If you know, out of your experiences, what do you think? What do you think is your best? What would you want to be as a remade for your nostalgic purposes? And what do you think has been going on now that you wish would stop because it's how horrible they're doing the nostalgia?
Well, first of all, I don't think they should remake anything. They can't. They can't do it right. I think if you're going to do something, just do it. Do a new thing. But you know, people are running out of ideas, so they just want to remake stuff for new audiences. And so that's my opinion. I don't think you should remake anything.
Okay.
I think maybe you should re-release. You know, maybe add a few special effects. Don't go all Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and start adding, you know, tom-toms where they don't belong, or having Han shoot first.
That's about what I was about to say.
Yeah. You know, but there's nothing wrong with adding a little high definition to things and re-releasing it. Or give us some more sequels. You know, there's a lot of sequels I'd like to see that were never done.
Like what? Name your top one.
Didn't we do an episode of this already? The sequels we'd like to see.
I mean, probably.
I don't know, right off the top of my head. The Gremlins 3. I would love Gremlins 3.
Right? Yeah, because I remember we talking about that, and that they are in talks, and
Yeah.
there is a script.
Right. I think I mentioned Willow. Didn't you say there was something in the works for Willow, or was that just my dreams?
That's your dreams.
Yeah, I'd like a Willow sequel. You know, just things like that. But instead of doing sequels, they just want to remake everything. Labyrinth. I think they could do a good Labyrinth sequel.
I don't think so.
All right. Why not, Brad?
No David Bowie.
So what? You know, you could get someone else, and it'd be like his son or something. And instead of, and like Toby's all grown up, and it's like his kid that's kidnapped by the Goblin King's son, who wants like revenge on Sarah. I have great ideas. I mean, I'm willing to sell them to anybody out there who wants to write this stuff.
Oh no, we just lost video.
Low power mode, sorry.
Yeah.
So if I lose you, you'll know what happened. My phone's
All right.
dying.
Well, I mean, we'll end this video pretty soon then.
Yeah. As far as, you know, nostalgia about their ruining, like, you know, any remake they do is awful. Don't get me started on DC. We already had a rant about that before we started the video. Everything they do is horrible. And I know everyone says Joker's great, but I'm not going to watch it. DC is dead to me.
Will you at least rent it?
No.
Oh, you should.
I refuse. I refuse to
You
watch
should
anything.
at least rent it when it comes out. Am I going to
No,
have to Clockwork Orange you?
no, I'm just not going to watch it.
So I'm gonna tape your eyeballs open.
Yeah,
We're gonna watch it, and you're gonna just be
play
like,
Beethoven in the background. Not Ludwig.
right?
But yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff they ruin.
I mean, I'll agree with that. There are lots of stuff they've ruined. I mean, and really, like, sci-fi has a really bad reputation for doing that too.
Speaking of our original topic for Critters, that's what Critters reminded me of one of those bad sci-fi originals.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah,
And sometimes those can be fun. This wasn't very fun.
fun is a good word for it, I guess. If you're just in the mood for nonsense, like Sharknado or whatever. But
I like Sharktopus. Okay, Sharktopus was fun.
yeah, and I think that newest Leprechaun was on there. That was a I was really disappointed that Warwick Davis didn't reprise the role.
Yeah.
Um,
Though I heard in talks that he would come back and do one more.
well, that was their chance. That was the only thing missing from that whole thing.
Yep, the smart-ass Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
I love Warwick Davis.
I do too. Who doesn't?
Tall people. I'm just
I would actually think other short people probably would not like Warwick Davis.
Probably because he's got so much, wealth now for being
Yeah.
short. Like, where's my money? I can act like a gnome. I'm sorry, I'm not against short people.
That's why we're not using the M word. We're saying short people.
Yeah. The vertically challenged.
Right.
I'm a terrible person.
No.
It's okay.
You're just human, Brad. It's not a crime. In this day and age, they want you to think that, but it isn't.
It's okay. I still love everyone.
Yeah.
Especially you, Zach. I love you.
Oh, I love you, Brad.
Good.
I'm so glad you wanted to do this video.
I did. Now we're going to have to come up with something else that we can talk about next week. Because I'm actually off next weekend, too.
Okay.
So
We have a whole week to think about it.
we do. So unless you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments. Okay? I know I don't get very few comments, but the ones I do are actually needed. But please, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll keep going. We plan on keeping going anyway. Well, we're going to end this video here so that Zach doesn't lose all the power in his phone.
Yeah.
And was there anything you'd like to add, Zach?
Let's see. What did I always say? Season 2.
Something about strippers and cocaine.
No, support your art, because without art, the world would even be suckier than it is.
Always. And remember, guys, always be kind to each other. And we'll see you next time.